Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which can be, definitely acidic, definitely bitter, definitely, tart, 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 salty, 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 but at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Hello. Yes. Today we're talking about 90 Day Fiancé. We're in Love in Paradise. This is season 3, episode 4. No
Scrub.
scrubs.
No, no,
No scrubs.
no, 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 no.
So I have put together a little information for you. I've now realized every episode of the season is ridiculous song titles, and song titles is what I wanted to say. And going back, this is now obviously no scrubs, definite TLC, definite like a full on mom. And also thank you so much, Candy for writing that for us. Episode 3, of course, Baby One More Time. That's Brittany. We know that. Episode 2 was Rump Shaker.
Rumps in a bump, rumps in a bump. Hey, you like the
Rump
girl with the
Shaker,
rump.
And then episode 1, they changed it was I like big boats. I
I like
like big
big boats and I
butts and I
cannot
cannot
lie.
lie.
Rump Shaker, what is that song? I thought it was the one I was singing. Maybe it's not. Let's look it up.
No, I know it's not. It's
Making a
uh
rump sugar. A shimmer, bump, bump,
wait. I'm gonna kill myself because I like
don't kill yourself. Jesus.
no, that's I'm
Oh,
very
it's
dramatic.
Rex and Effects. Rump sugar. Here, I'm gonna play it. Don't
Okay.
worry. It's
I'm already
Patreon.
trying. Okay, God.
It's Patreon. Don't worry.
No, just play this a second.
It's Patreon. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's Patreon. Will be fine.
All right. Are you playing it?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me take it. Yeah, the commercial. Can you hear it?
Yes. No. Yeah, it's the saxophone.
With a zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. Just shake your rump. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Life complete. Long, strong sword. Take a rump like a rump shaker. All I wanna do is some zoom, 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 and a boom, boom. And a boom, boom. Just shake your rump. Baby check, baby 1, 2, 3. Let's check, baby 1. Oh, we did it. We did it.
Oh,
I
I'm
want you to
so
know
mad.
100%
I'm so
that
mad
was
I'm not
before
wearing
our
my
times.
yes. Sorry. I'm mad I'm not wearing my Apple Watch for that. I really could have enjoyed like a little more early, like late evening cardio. Okay, babes. So here we are talking about Love in Paradise. We have some cups. We don't even have, and obviously we're going into episode 5 next week. All of the cups yet. We still have 1 cups left, and they teased us with the cups. But here we are. Okay, so Love in Paradise. So yeah, Juan and Jessica is who we're going to start with. And I'll just be honest. Is this my favorite couple? No. It's not my favorite couple, but like it's just that I feel bad for so many people involved all the time. It just kind of toggles whether I feel bad for Juan or whether I feel bad for Dayton and Dawson and Dotton and Dorton and Deaton and Donner and the all of them,
Dayton,
and that
Dawson,
girl and
Donner,
the friend. I feel bad. I
Donna.
mean, I'm always feeling bad for one of them, like I just sometimes I just get tired of feeling bad all the time.
You know, you're right, Chris. I do. I feel bad for Juan the most, and every time I watch their segment, all I'm like is, I wish that he could just leave. Like, I wish that he could just get out of this situation. I know that he partook in it and he made the
Ah!
choices, but I feel like there was some kind of, I don't think he truly understands what he's about to get himself into. So we start off this episode and she's in the bathroom throwing up and he's looking from the bed. He's like, "Are you okay?" And then he goes in there with her and she is, and listen, I have never been pregnant. I
Uh-huh.
don't know what it's like to have somebody wait on me and love me.
Mhm.
But let me tell you, Jessica is in love with the fact that somebody wants to take care of her. She has
Mhm.
fully jumped into the deep end of motherhood and pregnancy. And she's like, "I'm okay. Thank you so much for being here and rubbing my back." And let me tell you, as a girl who has had none, who has had none of these things, like I look at her and I'm just kind of hating. Like I'm a hater. Like I look at her and I'm like, "Girl, you could do this. Get up." Like stop being such a baby. But it's because I'm hating and I just am like, I don't want to see a woman revel in the fact that, this man, to me, the relationship between her and Juan is just very tenuous. To me, it's not real. The fact that he is somewhere else and on a boat 6 months out of the year, it feels like she's invested a lot for something that doesn't feel quite solid.
Yeah, like Yara gets upset when Jovi's gone for 1 month. You know what I'm saying? Like, or was it 3 months? I forgot what she's gone for, but whatever. Yeah, like,
One.
and okay. Yeah, this girl, like it's just, yeah, it's very, very interesting. She feels like she trapped him into getting engaged and then putting a baby inside her before she really even had him like spend a lot of time with her kids, or and so that part's crazy because it's like you're really young, so what's the rush? He's not gonna, yeah, especially because he's gonna be on a boat for 6 months anyway, so I don't, what the rush is that you are prone, it feels like, to impulsive decision making without foresight and like, or forethought into the consequences, and in that part is scary because there's like a lot of people involved, but at the same time you're not doing it alone, he's doing it too, and you have to think that if two willing people are making a conscious decision, this is why we have freedom to people to do what they want. So it's them for not, but not on me. I would say in my own, if I was looking into what's going to happen, my foresight is that he is going to be completely overwhelmed with where he is and what life is and what's expected of him, and I think that she and him are going to run into some problems and into some resentments, and I think that we're ultimately going to see someone who gets stuck.
Yeah. Yep. They got engaged and she got baby fever and they decided to start to try to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he agreed to that before they'd actually gotten married and gone through the whole thing and met her kids.
I
And
do.
okay, go ahead.
Oh, she said, "We should totally try. So don't use a condom, baby. And don't worry, it's like the first time." It's like he's like, "Oh, because this is what he said." He said, "Okay, it took only one and done." He probably just thought, "I'll just like let my little guy get in there all fun and furry in there, and get all the touchies." And then like he
Fun
thought that,
and furry and get all the touchies.
yeah, whatever, like, God bless. And then he's like, holy shit, it was the one time. It
Hmm.
was meant to be is what he says, which
Yeah.
is a quick change.
It's crazy. Also, I think it's because he's busted in guts. He shot up the club multiple times in his
Mhm.
past and he's never gotten a woman pregnant. Or if he
N
has, like,
He's
she
never
got a
known.
miscarriage or she's never known. And so he is like, "Oh, it can't happen that easy." But it can when a woman strategically plans her vacation to be with you when she's fucking fertile. So, which is what happened. And so then it looks like she had a miscarriage scare.
Yeah.
And Megan was texting him like crazy to tell him. And listen, I'm going to say right now, Megan is way too fucking involved. Megan is there. It's too much. Oh wow. This is that wasn't it. Yeah. This picture of her is What is on her sleeve? Is it ripped? You know, I mean, like what? You know,
It's
it's like
one little flower. It's one
okay,
little.
it's a flower. To know what it
It,
was.
what it look? Okay, I mean, yeah, gosh, like, first of all, I will tell you this: I love her hair. Now, in typical Chris Farrah fashion, her eyebrows aren't for me.
You know, it's the style. It's what's happening now. It's what the kids are doing. You know, I watched a TikTok of with a millennial woman who was wearing like a skinny jean with like a baggy shirt, which is exactly what I wore today. And she was like, "Millennials, stop it. I need you to get a crop top and I need you to get a pants that is not skinny at the bottom. It needs to be relaxed. It needs to be flare. I don't care what it is, but it can't be skinny." And I was like, "How dare you?"
She's right. Now we have to get some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm waiting to get like, a little more toned to get like the expensive jeans I want to get that are like the A gold, or how do you say a gold A, or how do you say like AGOLDE ones
Oh,
that I really want. But
I have
uh
some. I have some that are loose at the bottom and frayed. I have a lot, but to work, I'm like, you don't get cool wah. You get serious wah.
yeah, I like a little, you know what? I want to try and lead into a trouser.
Yeah.
With a straight leg trouser with a forgiving and or fun, waistband would be really suitable for me. I would love to just get a quote
Yeah.
unquote uniform together where it's like a trouser that's
Mm-hmm.
loose and makes sense, and
Mm-hmm.
then maybe like a structured and or interesting top that is
Mm-hmm.
comfortable but has enough uh
Mm-hmm.
the quality of the fabric is such that it feels put together and chic in some way. And then I want to buy 14 each, and then that's it.
I definitely want a trouser. But I've got the jeans already. I've got the jeans that are not skinny. I own them and I wear them out on the day. One of them is definitely camel toe, and I'm okay with it.
Mm,
I
mhm,
want you to
mhm.
see it and be like, she's got a fat pussy. I said the p word. I've never said it out loud like that. So
Unabashed, like as if it wasn't you. God bless, honey. She's feeling. Listen, that's how badly she wants you to see it. Which, I mean, I've never seen. It's
this is
intense. Yeah.
Patreon. I can say what I want.
Oh, what do you
Um,
mean? Have we not gone back to yet?
have we not gone back to what? Wait, are we posting this on the live on
Oh
the
no, I
free
forgot. We're
feed?
Patreon. I forgot what we're talking about. Every time I say 90 Day Fiance, I forgot. Yes, you're right. This is just Patreon the whole time,
I mean, this
baby.
is the first time you've ever put paid 90 Day Fiance Love in Paradise. Normally it's just Love in Paradise.
You know why I did? It's just because what's confusing is because I forgot what it was, which was No Scrubs. But then I had to go to Discovery Plus to like look it up, and on Discovery Plus, this is what it calls. This is what they call it. Okay, so let's talk about this dumb show. So
Okay. So yeah, so she had a miscarriage scare and then they applied for the K1 visa, and then the whole time that she's like snuggling underneath the covers and he's trying to console her after her vomit fest, Megan is
oh,
there. Megan brings water and then stays. And I'm like, "Megan, can you get the F out of here? Why are you even here?" And then he offers her like plantanos and we're just like, "Oh, it's cute." Um, so for me, like Chris says in her notes, this whole situation is setting me up to fail and I don't know how to fix. Oh no, he says this. So he ends up talking about the fact that he is in a relationship with this woman who has 2 kids. And he says in his confessionals, this whole situation is setting me up to fail and I don't know how to fix it. Because he's with a woman who is like pregnant with his child, who has 2 kids who he now sees are unruly, and she has no intention on like setting any boundaries or rules from them. So he's going to have to move to a poopy, stinky remote town in Wyoming and be with not only a stepfather to these kids, but when he gets there he's going to have to meet their father, you know?
mhm.
So so then they have a scene where she's feeling better and they go downstairs and they go into the pool and she's fully underneath all of the water with her eyelashes. And I notice in her confessional she doesn't have eyelashes, but in this pool in the scene she does. And I'm thinking, girl, they all fell out because you're underneath this damn water. You're not supposed to be in water with eyelashes. So she just hopes everyone will adjust and it will be easy to her family. Then we find out this episode where you show that picture of Megan where they're elsewhere the next day
Mhm.
or whatever,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
her and Megan are having a conversation about what happened 3 months or 1 month before she got pregnant. Chris,
Mhm.
you go
Mhm.
ahead.
this part was crazy. And again, when we saw this last episode, we didn't know this was happening in real time. But just so you know, this is now a conversation about something that happened a long time ago. But the way they bring it up was they're like, Megan, God
No,
bless. I'm
that's
doing it. Megan is like, I didn't know what it'd be like for me to see him again. And it's like, you? Like, who cares about you or whatever, God bless. And then,
yes.
and then she's like, yeah, because, we just like got in that fight because I confronted him in DM over, I was like, oh my God, about what this woman said or whatever. And so basically, as we know, Juan makes a lot of money. He gets, so now I'm like, okay, he must make a lot of money because he gets contracted for 6 months at a time to be like the flirtiest, hottest, cutest with green eyes bartender that like speaks perfect English and like, like will wink and a drink, a wink and a drink, and just like he gets the tippitiest tips. He gets just like makes people feel so good. He probably makes people just like, and plus here's the thing, it's so funny because also cruise ships are usually all inclusive, which means people don't like, unless it's like special drinks. It must be special drinks, right, Wa?
I mean, for all inclusive, I still tip. And so I don't when they say that he makes a lot of money, I feel like that means a lot of money for Torrington, Wyoming. Like, everywhere else in the world, folks can just live what it feels like for free outside of California and New York. So I don't know what a lot means. He's getting USD, especially if his people are mostly American, right? They're probably giving him like
Well, she's getting DRD.
he's
Thank
what
you.
is he?
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'll see you. Bye.
He's not from the DR. He's like from Venezuela or some shit. Where Colombia? Isn't it Colombia?
Oh no, you're right. Oh no,
Yeah.
Amber. It's Amber and Valentine. Valentine's from the DR.
Not Amber.
April.
April.
God damn it. Whatever. I hate myself. God damn. Thank God it's
April and
Patreon.
Valentine and
All
Lydia
right.
and
Yes.
Scott.
Okay. There's too many stupid.
Colombia.
Okay, I hate.
They're Colombia. Anyway,
We
so
have to like. I have to like. Yeah, God, it's my own fault.
it's Colombian SD. No, D. Colombian D. So
Okay.
so like I want to know how much he makes. And then we see next episode where she's like, your father's house isn't complete. I need you to complete it. And I need you to quit working on the ship. I think it's really fucking weird when women get with men who are making decent money doing something and then they're like, you need to quit that and do something else. I'm like, this is his plan, right? Like, this is it. Like, I don't know what else he's planning on doing, but in his 20s, which I don't know how old they are, but in his 20s, he's making good money being away 6 months a year. And because he got you pregnant, now you feel like he shouldn't be doing that, which is like wild. What else is he going to do? He can bartend somewhere else, but is he going to bartend in like Wyoming and make the same amount of money? No.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Just all of it bodes so poorly because it feels like they don't think of the future. And if they're not thinking of the future, they're not really thinking of the present and what's the other person's like and what the other person truly wants as well. Like everyone is just so short-sighted in so many ways, So,
Yeah. Megan is
okay.
like, part of his job is flirting. And, like, Megan wants him to know that he has to respect Jessica. And this girl who was like, yeah, I know you're with Juan, but we hooked up. And listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, if a bitch doesn't tell you exactly what the fuck she did with your man and just tells you that you guys hooked up, that's just kissing. Fuck you. Get out of here. If you're not gonna tell me that he put his pee-pee in my VV, then like get out of here. You're just causing trouble. This hater saw that he was in a relationship with someone and decided to just like cause trouble, or it's a full Matt Sharped,
Yes, I absolutely agree. And yeah, I love Megan for the just like being like, I mean, the best friend, sidekick that's just doing the most for the storyline because without her, there really would be nothing because she can really instigate a lot of drama without her having to do it, without Jessica having to do it. And I just love when she's like, I just love the idea of her getting this information, going there, and then like she's just like, put a baby in me immediately. That was her remedy to finding out that he maybe cheated on her.
Mhm.
She literally found out before she left, and then she left and now got immediately pregnant, which was a choice on her part.
Mhm.
That a obvious stated choice. So I mean, at the end of the day, and she has 2 sons already, God bless. At the end of the day, what can you do except be like, this is what you're choosing. So
Mhm.
this is every moment you're choosing this, right?
Mhm.
She is not just co-creating her destiny, she is manufacturing every morsel of it
Yeah.
quite easily. Like I've never seen someone have more power over their destiny.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we see her doing this, and then we know that she has divorced, it's very suspicious. Like, how, in what circumstances did she get married to that other person? And in what circumstances did she have to get out of that? Like, did he cheat on her? Maybe. Like, did she also get pregnant with that first one and then trap him into a marriage? Possibly. And I don't know. I'm not saying. Listen, this is a me being a bitch, So here we are. Now the next couple that we're gonna talk about is Lydia and Scott, and y'all, this is not shaping up to be like a good situation. So Lydia
No,
looks,
you thought it was going to?
yeah, I really did.
You
Lydia
thought it
looks
was
great.
a wedding? You thought it was gonna be a wedding at the end of this season?
I thought they
What
were gonna be
Law
on.
was like, are they gonna invite me? They're gonna have a wedding.
I thought it
Lydia.
was gonna listen. In my hopes, it was gonna be before the 90 days. It was gonna be 90-day fiance, and then it was gonna be 90-day happily ever after. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's been trying to get to the U.S. Pedro is the only one who's been successful so far, but maybe Lydia can come, and then maybe she can bring Nicole on some kind of like sibling or child visa. Okay, so Lydia looks great. She comes out with a bodysuit and like high-waisted jeans and a what seems to be a Gucci belt, and I'm here for it. She's just like shaking it, and this woman is in her 50s, and listen, right now I am having a hard time not eating my feelings away. So when I get 50, I hope to be able to have that slim belly. So she says that now that she's met Scott, that she realizes that the language is more of a barrier than she anticipated, which is like, yeah, girl. I thought the same thing too. And then I started dating somebody who didn't speak English, and I was like, oh, this is hard. So she has a plan for Nicole and Scott to have lunch together so that she can ask him some basic questions so that he can meet the daughter who speaks English. And I'm going to say this, that to Nicole, clap, clap, clap to Nicole for actually learning fucking English in what seems like a very short period of time. It's been like 3 years or 4 years, and this bitch has like enough command of the language to be able to sit on American television and fully speak. And this is the first time that she's done it. Like the last season of Family Chantel, she spoke a little bit of English, but not the way she's doing it now. And I am very happy for her. And I think it's interesting that Scott is kind of annoyed by this, when like they didn't have to pay for an interpreter, and like now she gets to hear some things. Like, why hasn't he ordered an interpreter for them?
Oh, I'm sorry, Why hasn't this man what? Why hasn't he done what? Okay, yes, Scott is pink as the day is long. He looks like a Who character a little bit, like, from Dr. Seuss in some way. He has like, again, like the kind of Cupid's bow that is like, it feels like it would cut me, and it feels like if I put a little knife in there, it would like sharpen the knife. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It
He looks
feels.
like a lion to me. It looks very like lion-esque, and he also looks like Hulk Hogan with no hair.
Yes to those two things. And then the sunglasses that he comes up with are just like the most, they radiate, like, instead of like radiators, they radiate something of absolute terror to me. I mean, like, he is in every way like, okay, this is what it is. Okay, this is not him, but like, one time when I worked at that hookah restaurant, it was open so late, like 2s and 4s, and sometimes this cop would come in all the time. And the owner would just give him free food. So he would come in all the time because why wouldn't you get amazing like Egyptian food? It was like, like so good, right? And I would be sitting there smoking hookah in a hookah thing, but also I was friends with all the guys that worked in the back who also smoked. And we
Hookah.
were there all the time, hours upon hours. So the cop would come in when the cop would come in late, okay? And he would come in and want to talk to me, would start flirting with me. And he like asked for my number and I gave it to him because I felt awkward. And I was just like, is
Not
he
attracted to him?
Yes, of course, not attracted to him. But doesn't Scott give you like cop energy?
Yes, but I think that I am less discerning than you because I would fully date Scott. When what's her face laughed at the fact that he was dating like a 29-year-old and she's like, that person was using him for money. There's no way she was in love with him. I was like, why?
Okay, first of all, I would totally date a cop. I just wouldn't date him
Oh,
or
I
people
wouldn't
that
date
act
a
like
cop.
this.
I
I
couldn't date
actually,
it.
I think that I think that if I would have to be like a captain or something like that, like
Yeah, I don't. I just would be. I would like have to hide about what he is. Like I'd have to know his record, and I'm like, how many
Yeah,
people have
I
you
know.
racially profiled? It would be too. It would be a lot for me.
Yeah,
Not
you're
to
right.
say that. Not to say that cops aren't lovable. Like I think they're very cute human beings, and like I'm not saying anything is wrong for that. But just in this current climate, you know what I'm
I
saying?
get you.
It's just the current climate. Like outside of that, my friend is married to a detective, and when she dated him, she didn't tell anybody he was a detective because, and this was before George Floyd, and it was just like, but he was black, so it was like he's a black man with a good job, you know what I'm saying? So like, I could date a cop, but not a cop like Scott.
Yeah, would you date a black cop like happily, or would you still have to like, or would you be weirded out by it?
No, I did a black cop. Yeah.
Yeah, what's yeah,
Mm-hmm.
God bless.
Yeah.
Great.
However, yeah, that would be that. It's the same way like when people ask me where I work and I won't tell them. It's the same kind of thing. Oh yeah, girl, I don't tell them when they're
No,
like,
I know. It's not. Why is it the same kind of thing about the cop thing?
it's not
though?
the same thing, but it's for me, I don't want to have to hear people's opinions because you would not believe, Chris, that everyone has a fucking opinion.
Oh, I know. I do.
You do too? You have an opinion about where I work?
Not where you work, but I'm someone that has to stop my own opinion, so I know that everyone's going to have an opinion because there's something about because people broadcast their own thoughts as if everyone's on the spectrum. Like how we say people are like neurodivergent and like people on the spectrum, but like sometimes people who give their opinions are just voicing their thoughts,
but
as if you're not there. Anyway,
but my specific place, everyone has a thought. And I didn't realize that everyone was going to have a thought. And so now I live this double life because they all have a fucking thought. And it's not just me, it's everyone that works in my company. People all kind of do the same thing. It's just not tell folk.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, I don't wear any paraphernalia outside. Like the only time I do is when I'm coming from work and it's just I'm like, oh fuck, I'm wearing this shirt, but like it's crazy that I work there. Truthfully, it's like I don't So anyways, they sit down, they have this conversation, and what are you here with me? Where are you going?
I'm sorry. I got an email. You would just
Yes.
talk. Jesus, talk. Okay, I'll do it. So anyway, let me tell you, they all three sit by this table, honey, and it's just like they go in and out of this weird focus where it's kind of like, who's doing the taping for this? Is this on is this on a Polaroid camera? Like I cannot tell why and they know it too because they don't ever want to use this shot.
Yeah.
And the moments they do, they're like, we tried like so hard not to.
It's like they stuck a camera onto the like column and this is like it's like a video cam or whatever on the column, like taking a photo of them. It's like this is one of the shots. So there's always two shots in these films. There's always a shot of them dead on and there's always a shot of them to the side. And this was the dead on shot that I guess the cameraman couldn't stand there. There must have been a pole in the way. So anyways, they're doing this and Nicole has a lot of valid questions, but I wish that Nicole had said, hey, Scott, my mom wanted me to ask you a couple of questions because she doesn't quite understand and I'm going to interpret. But she's like, I have a list of questions for you. She's loving every moment of this. And so,
yeah, her mom is too like, you're just like, oh my God, it's just so much for him to take in. Like, no wonder why he thought these glasses were to protect him, honey. He had no fucking clue. Okay.
Yeah. So it was just like wild the way that they're giddy and laughing at each other. And so, commercials or previews set us up to believe that she said one sentence in one frame, that she was like, my mother tells me that you dated a woman and gave her $17,000, but you know, give my mother $1.
Yeah, she does this like where it looked like a Kristen Wiig or SNL character where she delivers the jokes and then her like facial expression is such a tag, is such a button. I mean, like it's over the top. Yes, it's over the top, sure, but it's also just like absolutely watchable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you, Wall. You said it perfectly. Now, here's the thing. These two people are having different experiences in this moment and they don't register. Like the mom and the daughter do not register how tacky and classless and horribly uncomfortable this is for this man to experience this, who did not know and is just getting to know this woman, and how defensive it is or whatever, and how weird it is. Because Lydia thinks, oh, he's told me things and I never got to ask or say anything because I don't speak this language. And so I've had these questions. So I made sure to sit with my daughter and ask her, ask about this, ask about this, ask about this. And so I'd find out. She's my little interpreter. But unfortunately, as Wa said, Scott's like, I was going to come and have breakfast, desayuno, with Lydia and her daughter, so it's just like, yeah, he's like, good morning. He has no idea. So she opens with, like, basically, when did you get married? When did you get divorced? And how many women have you been in a relationship with? And then he answers that. He's like, well, how many people have you effed? And he's like, more than 10. And she's like, come again? He's like, more than 10. She's like, no, I don't like these good, whatever, like, you won't answer or whatever. And he also, it must be hard in the moment. Listen, it's always hard in the moment to find the perfect way in which to shoot something down that is going over the boundary of what you're comfortable with while still maintaining eloquence. And he honestly, and I mean this, does a pretty fucking good job.
Mm-hmm.
He never raises his voice. He never gets angry. She tries to push him and he, doesn't want to answer. He, like, and there's a billion ways he, I don't know how he would have answered. He could have been like, well, I never talk about my sexual life in public, or I keep things personal between me and the women, or, like, we're on national television, so I don't feel comfortable. I'll never ask you that, like, whatever. I don't know. There's like, I don't know. But I just like you, and I for sure agree with you that she's learned a lot of English. I'm going to give her props. I don't know if he could handle it better for someone like him.
Yes. I have a question though. Do you not think that it's an appropriate question for her to ask him?
Which one?
For Lydia to ask Scott.
No, sorry. Which question?
Oh, the question about how many people he's had sex with.
I don't think it's appropriate.
Okay. I think that for someone who's had no sex for the last 12 years, that for her, she's just like, well, I mean, like, are you out there, or are you just like out there? And now I don't necessarily think that it's appropriate for Lydia to ask that question for Nicole to ask that question on Lydia's behalf. But I personally have never asked anybody that question, but people have asked me that question and I've been like, none of your business. And they're like, come on, tell me. And I'm like, I don't understand this. I don't understand where this line of questioning is going. But they're not virgins, or like, they're not born again virgins, So part of me was like a little conflicted about whether or not this question should be asked. And I think that Nicole should have accepted more than 10, period, and then moved on to the next question. And I think it's interesting. She's like, you're peligroso for my mother. She feels like it's dangerous. And then they talk about the Colombian girl. And that's when she says, and like, so many words that like, hey, have you not, she asked her mother, has he given you any gifts? And she's like, no. And the truth is like a year and he hasn't. Like, as much as I want to be like, wow, he doesn't have to give her any gifts, I'm like, after a year, it was her birthday during that year. It was Christmas during that year. It was something. Mother's Day during that year, and Scott hasn't sent her shit.
I agree. It either means that he's cheap or he was spending money on women that he was meeting in real life.
Yeah. And him talking to her wasn't that important, because if he was talking to any woman who had a kid during Mother's Day, he would have sent her gifts. Like, I got, for the first time in my life, this Valentine's Day, I got sent gifts from a man who like I hadn't talked to or seen in person since October. So like, I'm like, that's now my level. Like now, and that person has sent me random things since then. And I'm like, well, now he has raised the fucking bar. And when I'm not talking to him and some guy doesn't send me fucking regalos, I'm gonna be like, how come you're not sending me regalos?
Why haven't you sent my friend $1?
Yeah, it is now the fucking expectation. I'm saying, yeah.
But basically, I feel bad for him. But they get to this, the dollar part, and he's like, well, no, I do have a present for your mom, but I didn't really pick it out. Like
my mom did.
Yeah, I wasn't really gonna pick it out, but my mom picked it out, which is like so shitty to say. And then he runs upstairs, and we're like, oh my God, he's gonna get it right now. And he runs downstairs, and it's not wrapped; it's like in a plastic bag. And then he just brings it out, and it's a black purse with gold hardware. So at first, I'm like, oh, you know what? I like it.
Prada. I thought it was Prada. That's what it was giving me. But it was
no way.
Okay.
No way on God's green earth.
I thought I saw a little triangle.
Okay, let me say this, that it's fake. That's easy, that it's fake. I'm just like, what product, there's no designer purse.
You're right.
That's just going to come from that plastic bag.
You're right.
I know I'm right, but I just, sorry, let me rain upon me that's what you're like. Okay, so anyway, so that's where she gets this black bag. She opens it. She's like, oh, and she opens it, and there's a little like mini coin purse. She's like, oh, and both women are like, Dolores, like thinking they're going to go in and just like have, I don't know, a hundo, whatever who it is, because, and I'm going to be this is true too. It's true that in many cultures, and not just theirs, but also Arab ones, that like you should put a little something into a purse or a wallet.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, it's true.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a little something, a little dollar. Okay. Yeah, Mish did it for me once too.
Nice.
And she's Asian. So yeah, Mish did it for me. I heard it from my grandmother before too, who's Lebanese. And then this moment happens, and so it checks, check.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just say, it's a not white thing.
Yeah.
It's not a white thing.
Yeah.
Now, this man also is going to not know decorum at all, and why these women think so. They have to bring their notch down the expectations level, because he just brought them a gift that he was like, my mom told me to get this for you, and it's in a plastic bag. So
yeah,
across the board, everyone has to understand who they're dealing with.
Yeah, that's crazy that he said that his mom helped him pick it out because he wasn't going to get anything, and it was his mom who was like, you have to get her something. And that is crazy that he admitted that. He thinks that it's like an honor, like, oh, my mom really likes you. The truth is like, yes, your mom. Okay, great. But do you really like me? And you didn't get me anything. And it's crazy. And so like, he was like, oh, there's nothing in there. And she's like, oh, and then Nicole like gives him the etiquette, and he like feels some kind of way about it. But most of us are like, no, he's wrong. He's wrong in this situation. Because he's trying to have sex with her. That's the other thing. It's not a man who's like not trying to have sex with her. He's fully trying to fuck. So it's like, you didn't even have a gift. I'm sorry.
Sorry. You're
right. People are like, oh, it's not transactional. No, it is.
This man was like 2 rooms, dos rooms, un grande problema. Un grande problema because I need to dormir contigo inside Tigo. And
Your
so, like, and
cuerpo.
I have nothing para Tigo, just like, just what are you talking about? Sorry, like, I don't mean to always do like horrible Spanish. It's I really do like Spanish. I actually know mediocre Spanish. It's just that in my own accent, it sounds really bad, and I play into it. Anyway, God bless. But anyway, so we've gotten comments on my mediocre Spanish one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
Oh, bad things. Dumb Chris and her
Oh.
Valley Girl accent and her mediocre Spanish. One person was like, she always says honey all the time, and it's so annoying. Like, who does she think she is? Jonathan Van Ness? And we're friends. We've been friends for so long, and so it's so funny. We're going to be like, bitch, look who he follows. Look who I follow. Yes.
Oh, wait, I have a question. They put this on Instagram? It's not Patreon, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a review on the podcast.
Oh, I didn't know we had reviews on the podcast.
Yeah, we've asked for them. We've asked them. I know. Anyway. So
well, they suck. So you say honey, and that's your natural thing, and like whatever. So let's move on to he wants Lydia to interject. He wants Lydia to interject, and when he thinks that Nicole is doing too much. So Lydia's not going to interject because she doesn't understand what the fuck is happening, So for her, it's just getting information. Next couple that we're going to talk about is April and Valentine. Chantal and Pedro. So we have April, who is traveling to the DR. She's in the airport or airplane, and she's like germied and like Lysoled that whole situation down. And he's driving, and he's really excited for her to like eventually move to the DR permanently. And we're all like, she's not moving to the DR permanently. Like, there's not enough luxury there for her, I don't think. And also, she wouldn't be able to practice. I mean, the only thing she would like lean on is her business that's there, Like, she's thinking he's going to come to the US, I believe.
She's in a whole hospital though, so I wonder if she would rather just like be a business owner.
Yeah, maybe.
And she obviously always stays in the most beautiful resorts. So her version, she probably is always like, baby, I love it here so much, because she probably does.
Yeah. But it isn't, it isn't the real Dominican Republic. It's the same thing with like Danielle and Johan, is that she has an idea of what the Dominican Republic is, and Johan is like, no, that's not mi país, that's este país. So he goes to pick her up, and he's in the airport, and she gets off, and she's got a lot of luggage. I'm like, how long is she staying there? She's got like 3 bags.
But when she's waiting for her bags, she's not even wearing a purse. She's wearing these Lululemon joggers that are so cute. Talk about like a fun pant, but they're joggers. They're not like, they're kind of like a little bit skinny. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, I don't understand. Where's your phone? Like,
she had something on the pushy thing when she was waiting. There was one bag or whatever.
Ugh, that must be a production thing. So anyway, this is weird. So when they greet each other, the vibe was interesting. They definitely like kiss for sure, but she ends up saying things like, let me look at you. I want a big kiss. I missed you. And the like, I don't know, it just gave me like aunt that you really like and you haven't seen in a long time. It was just like not Soup's romantic, like, I don't know. She seems obsessed with the idea of a relationship without, I'm like, are you cognizant and present in this one, or are you like a little fairy tale princess in her mind playing a role because it's really hard up there and you're barely hanging on, and this gives you some release,
Yeah, I think she's thinking. I didn't think that it was like auntie style, but I thought that it was a little awkward. She's a little awkward, and I think that's what we're witnessing. And so she tried to speak her Spanish. It's always so weird for me when people don't know like basic Spanish, and every time someone is like Japaleños or said something crazy in Spanish, I'm like, what? But it's just because I grew up so, I mean, not San Diego close to the border, but close enough to be able to be like, hola, you know, like to be able to say a sentence. And like when she's in the car and she's the gorilla comes to the door and she can't even say like, ¿qué es eso? Like, ¿qué es esta? Or anything. Like, what is that? Like, she can't even say like simple, like present tense things. And it's just like, wow, Atlanta be Atlantaing, and they ain't no, there's Mexicans, I'm sure, but like the culture don't be culturing, you know, like don't even know how to say like level 1 Spanish.
Wait, that monkey thing was hilarious. Just like out of the blue. Sorry, a monkey just comes at your door and just like the concept is, nah, I bought this soup. Give me money.
Yeah.
It's hot outside. Give me money. Oh, didn't I give a little levity your day? Give me money.
Yeah. And then when
like, he's not even acting like a, I mean, sorry, he's not even acting like a monkey. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no bananas, there's nothing. You know, like I'm just saying, there's no trees. This man is just like running down streets asking for money in this suit. And freaking, I would be the front fucking freaked. I'd be like, get away! I would never give him money so that he never got any sort of reward from this behavior.
Yeah, I wouldn't give him money, but I wouldn't necessarily be as upset and be like, get away. The thing is though, this is how ridiculous she is. She's like, I only go to like Sansura, so like I don't know the rest of the country, and I thought it was going to be like Miami. And I'm like, why did you think it was going to be like Miami? It's not fucking Miami. It is the Dominican Republic. And she's like, it needs a facelift. It's not what I expected, and I don't like Santo Domingo. And she says that to him. And I'm like, again, it's like these Americans that just have never left the country and act so uncouth. Like they have no home training. And it's like, that's like me going to like somewhere someone is from. And the first moment I step into their land and in their city, I'm like, oh no, I don't like this. Like I would be like, ooh, muy interesante. Okay, you know, basura en la calle, or like, what is it, basura? No, the trash. Yeah,
trash.
Basura en la calle. Muy interesante. No hombre de basura. Like, like I would try. I mean, but I wouldn't be like, oh no me gusta Santo Domingo. Like you just, I don't know. It's just like immediately she's coming out. So then she gets to the hotel and she doesn't like the outside of it, girl. She's like, oh.
She's wrong. The minute, okay, so here's the thing. The minute they pull up and I see the outside of this, I'm like, oh my God, look at it. It's so beautiful. It's so old. And this bitch is like, I should have picked the hotel. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because here's the thing. In my mind, I was like, okay, there's one thing about wanting to stay in a nice, clean place, and one thing that wants to take in a resort and wants to stay in a whitewashed, and I mean that in a clean way, but also a white person way, but also a luxe way. There's just so many ways to do it. You can spend a lot of money and stay in, which, by the way, this hotel is going to be a lot of money now. We know this because we can see it's a traditional old hotel. Like, but I feel like I was surprised that she couldn't tell just from the exterior that it probably was going to be a nice and maybe even special hotel, which is what it looked like. It felt very like, you know, whatever, like historical.
Yeah, and it's like you're in the main city. He knows where he met you. He knows where you were staying. He kind of knows. And she's like, but I let him choose it because he wants to be a man and he wants to be in charge. So I let him.
Good.
And then they get inside and she's like, oh my God, it's so nice. Here's the Lysol, disinfect everything. And he's like, I don't understand why she does this, but I'm cool. And so because he can't like truly express how crazy she is, she takes that as him accepting her. And I'm like, no, he just doesn't have the words to say how like loco you are. So
that's a very Daniela Johan thing. Like, isn't this Daniela kicking around a cabbage?
Kicking around a coconut. Also her.
Oh, sorry. I was like, cabbage. Just kidding.
Yeah. Also her, like doing a sage in the hotel over everything.
Exactly.
And like, it's the same thing. So he helps her clean everything. And then she says, listen, I know I'm OCD and I'm super, super worried that he's going to take me to his parents' house and I'm going to get there and act up.
I was happy only in that I was like, okay, you do know it's on you, right?
Yeah.
It's on you. You cannot get she's like, I hope I don't get triggered or whatever she said. I was like, yeah, that's gonna be on you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Did you
I
bring
hope.
something for yourself, doctor? Did you bring a little something? I'm not like, whatever it is. Like, I don't know if it's weed or I don't know if it's a little pill, probably a pill. I would assume
Xanax or
just give
something.
herself like an Ativan, just like, I mean, if I were her, I would just go. I would have a little sanitizer or like whatever in my bag, little spray, and I would just like eat the smallest amount possible and then just like grin and bear it and say nothing possible and then just keep my face going.
I just like, I literally don't think that it's dirty. I just think that it's not up to par, right? Like I in my mind, I've gone into people who live in like Guatemala and Belize is their home, and it's not dirty. It's just maybe not fashionable. And so for her to like, I'm like, give me all that food. I'm gonna eat it all. I want all the plantanos. I want all the rice and beans. I wanted everything. So it makes me sad that she has a possibility of going there and representing Black Americans in a poor fashion. She then goes into the bathroom and I guess showers because she comes out in a nightgown
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like then has the audacity to ask him if he showered. And I'm like, did you? Because you came off of a dirty airplane. He did not. He could have easily showered, gone to the airport and picked you up and then drove you to the hotel, which I'm like, give me that man smell. Like, I don't need you to have showered at this point. So it's just like weird. He's like, yeah, I showered. And she was like, you did? And he's like, yes.
Yeah, and the answer he hadn't, like because he's just whatever. Like, he maybe did before, but like he obviously had in that moment or like
Yeah.
since she saw each other, like so I don't know what she was expecting. Like they've seen each other since the airport. Yeah, like I agree with you. And yeah, unless she came in with a towel around her head, it would have been obvious that she had because I feel like she's really beautiful. So I can't even tell she had makeup on. Like she didn't look like she had changed much except for her actual outfit, which obviously was bedtime outfits. So anyway, let's move on to Carlos and Valentine.
I mean, truthfully, nothing happened. They woke up, there was feet cuddling. They didn't use a dildo, but they had some other kind of sex, in which I think is really fucking rude for the producers to ask them about details of their sex life. And I don't know if they ask heterosexual couples detail their sex life, but it made me feel like they were like in a zoo kind of, and the person wanted to know like, what did you guys do? Like, fuck you, get out of their business.
I completely agree. Sorry. The only good part was this picture where Valentine talked about the fact that his mom is coming and his situation with his mom was that, I don't, is that whose hands are on a neck?
I mean, the dad's, and I'm like, yeah.
That's kind of intense.
Looks lovely.
Look at him. That's him right there. You can see him.
I know.
That's like his natural hairline and everything.
Yep. Looking cute, like a little baby.
What a small neck she must have. Maybe his hands are on it. Maybe he's just resting his arms on her shoulders, and maybe his head is like kind of on her head in some sort of totem pole way. That it isn't.
But it's like, possessive, and
Sure.
I love it.
Okay. So basically, when he first came out to his mom like kicked him out of the house. It was obviously really, really bad. But it's been, since we love Valentine, we can say it's been a minute since then because, he's seasoned. And so, he's like, I know when I see her, it's been, this, I just can't believe that I'm going to introduce her to not only a man for the first time, but my fiance. I'm going to cry. And at the minute he's like, I'm going to cry, he starts crying. And I felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
Because like that is some real shit, like
8 years he hasn't seen her.
Yeah, that part too. Sorry. Yeah, that part too.
And it's like, folks don't be close to their parents, but 8 years is a minute to not have like seen someone. So I mean, I don't know how long he's lived in LA, and I'm assuming that he's in New York or born and raised, and his mother may live in New York. And I'm like, there was a time that you all lived in the same city and you didn't see her. Again, I don't know how long he lived in LA. So
yeah, for some reason I do think that he's lived in LA for a long time.
Oh, okay. Cool.
For some reason I forgot. I swear I thought he said that anyway. But yeah, because I remember always thinking, God, he's lived in LA for so long, but you would never know it because he sounds like he just lived here yesterday. No, he's very new. Yeah, I know.
His New York accent is like wild.
Yeah, no, I know. I completely agree.
He's like, my mother is coming to see us. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really happy for him. I wonder if he like is like, yeah, my mother's gonna come out and see me. It's been 8 years. I'm on a television show, it's season 2. I have this like hot man, like I'm doing things. She's gonna see me like living my life at my best, like it'll be. I think I'm. It's actually a very good moment. I'm very excited. Carlos, from what I remember, his parents and him are not. He's not out to his parents, right?
I'm not sure. His sister knows, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I think his family lives in a small area, so I think the hurdle was his sister initially. So maybe the sister told the family, or maybe they have, but I don't know if the family's going to show. So we're going to see.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We're 4 episodes in, and we don't even have the new couple. I mean, but were we that many episodes in before we got Debbie and Oshama? So I'm not sure. But like, did you see the previews for 90 Day Fiancé, the tell all?
No.
Oh, I'll send it to you. But there's something that I did want to say is that y'all know that Jamie Foxx is not doing well. He's in the hospital, and you may not care about him, but like he's been a wonderful contribution to our arts. He is an accomplished pianist. He's an accomplished comedian. He's an accomplished actor. And it just makes me sad that like he's 55 years old, and it doesn't look like it's going well, and it sucks to lose such a like pivotal member of the community.
It feels very shocking. It feels very unexpected, and I know there's like a certain amount of privacy that that he's asked for. I mean, definitely he has, and other people. So we're giving that space to him, just giving prayers and thoughts, because truly, what an undeniable talent in so many arenas, and I just whatever's supposed to happen, but like truly. God bless him, and thank you so much for everything you've given us thus far. And we would love for you to keep giving us more, please, please.
Yeah, it's like it's almost going to be just. It's not the same shock, but it's almost the same shock as like when someone told me Kobe died. I was like, Kobe Bryant, like
I know.
like, I mean, yeah. The fact is that Kobe was sudden, and this is like at least we have time to like think about it. But it's like wild, for me, it's especially like Black community wise, and like I've always been like semi prepared for like Denzel Washington's like end, or even Samuel L. Jackson or Morgan Freeman, you know what I'm saying? But like Jamie was not at that list of like people that I'm like, oh, that would freaking suck, so yeah.
All right, well, here we are. God bless everyone. If you want to follow us, you can. That Patreon, just on Docu Sweeties, that, all that Docu Sweetie stuff. Remember that. But here's the thing: I did bring up that review, so if you want to go and leave us a good review, you can, and write something kind if you want, and you can make fun of me, but only know that I'm going to read it. So only I care, and I do care, because Wad doesn't care, but I care deeply. I'm gonna never sleep at night. So do you.
Yeah, I get anxious when I read comments. That's the truth. Like comments really, because some people don't.
Horrible.
People do not realize.
They hate
I mean,
us.
that person was being rude on purpose. But sometimes people do not think that they're being kind of mean because they've been watching me for years, that they don't realize that I have no fucking idea who they are. So to all of a sudden get a comment that's like, well, are you going to do this? And that's what I hear. I don't hear like, hey, Wa, wondering where your 90 Day Fiancé or Love After Lockup video was. Just like, hope everything's okay. That's not what it is. It's like, are you gonna do 90 Day Fiancé or ... I'm like, who are you?
Is your YouTube channel dead or what? You just gave up on your YouTube or what? That's what I get. I've gotten that twice on my Instagram. Two now. My last 2 ones. This person keeps doing it.
And I'm like, do you think that you're going to shame us into doing it? Or do you think that we're going to go, oh, like, I don't know you. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you were like Renee or like Mickey or like everyone on Patreon or like, someone who I like engage with. But when it's like Blobbly Blue 624, I'm like, who are you? But anyways, thank you to those of you guys who are on Patreon. We love you obviously so much. You guys support us and we support you and we love everything. So like, tell us what you want. Okay. This is exclusive content for you. And I hope you feel special
Special.
because you are. You fucking
Special.
are. So we shall talk to you later. Chrissy, anything last thing you want to say?
No, love you guys so much. Bye.
Bye.